everyone, welcome. So today I'm going to share my very first Poshmark tips video. So if you've been following along since I just started my channel recently, I am now a Poshmark ambassador and I just started in January. So I thought that I would share some tips for Poshmark beginners because I'm still learning, and as I learn things, I could pass along that information to you and maybe make your life a little bit easier. So I'm going to start with my number one most important tip, especially for beginners. If you're looking to take Poshmark seriously as far as reselling maybe, or you want to really get rid of a lot of things pretty quickly or as quickly as you can, one thing to me is extremely important, and that is your photos. That sounds very, very simple and it sounds really obvious, but there are a lot of little things that you can do to have better photos without actually spending a bunch of money and getting a good camera. I personally just use my iPhone to take my pictures, and that's it. So I'll tell you how I started. So when I first started, I would take something on the hanger and I would just put it on the back of a white door in my bathroom, take a picture like that. I'm like, okay, good. It's a white background. You can see it easily. Great, right? Or I would take it and lay it out on my table. I have a darker table. It's more of a concrete type of look. So I would lay it out on the table, take the pictures inside. The clothing was clear enough to see what it is, and I thought that was enough, is basically what I'm trying to get at. So it's not enough. So when you're taking your pictures, there's a few things that I've learned along the way, and as I've been taking my pictures, I've been getting better at them, and I actually notice an increase in my sales. So basically, when I first started and I just took the pictures just on the back of the bathroom door, because I figured, there's a decent amount of light in there. Like in my apartment, I don't have a lot of light, really poor lighting. Right now I happen to be next to a window because natural light to me is always best, and that's one of the most important things that I want to stress when taking your photos. If you can take your pictures in natural light, I think that is very important compared to taking them inside, unless you have a good lighting system. For example, maybe if you invested money and you already have one of those large tripod like ring lights or something like that, or you have really good lighting in your place, that's great. By all means, go right ahead and go for it. However, if you're like me and you don't have good lighting in your apartment, it's not a good representation of your product. So whether or not you're looking to resell or you're looking to just get rid of some things, I definitely suggest, if you can take your pictures outside and in natural light or close to a window where you have good natural light, that will make a big difference. Second thing, pay attention to the background. So if you, let's say you're selling something that's like a home decor product, right? Maybe you're selling a decorative bowl and you put her on your kitchen table. Your lighting is like, it's okay though. You put it on the kitchen table, but then like in the background you have old dirty dishes like up on the counter and stuff. Like, be aware of your surroundings and what's in the picture. You will obviously crop them in Poshmark, but definitely be aware of the surroundings. You kind of want everything in the background of the picture to be very clean. You don't want anything else really going on, as little noise as possible in your background. If you have a pair of shoes and you put them on your dark couch, and then you have the bowl and it's in the kitchen and you have a bunch of stuff on the counter, and then you have something else hanging on the back of a door, but there's no natural light coming in, you took it at like 10 o'clock at night and you just have the lights on, the lighting is all going to be different also amongst your different pictures. And what I have personally learned is just from taking the pictures inside, even though I had a little bit of natural light and the brightest lighting in my apartment happens to be in my bathroom, taking them on the back of that white door, and it's all white in my bathroom as far as all the walls and everything, I figured that would be the best lighting at first when I first started. Just going from changing that to taking them outside on my balcony and doing like a flat lay, laying the clothes out on the floor, I noticed a 30% increase in my sales. And what I did, because I have like a wood type of floor and I didn't want to be laying the clothes on the floor exactly, I also have cats in my house and I didn't want to use any of my existing sheets or anything like that, because I'm like, oh, what if I get cat hair? And I try to be extremely careful with not only my own clothes, because I can't stand having cat hair on anything, but with the things that I sell on my Poshmark, I'm very, very careful to bring something directly in from either when I thrifted it, to hanging it up, taking my pictures, or laying it down, taking my pictures, to immediately putting it, making sure that it's nice and clean and folded nicely and put it in a clear package. So I try not to get any cat hair on anything as much as possible, and I didn't want to even use sheets. Some people have no problem using just like a white sheet, and that works for them. Maybe they don't have any animals in their house. I happen to have animals. So what I got originally, and this alone gave me like a 30% increase in my sales, is just this white paper. It's actually not paper. So what it is I got these at the dollar store. These are just marble looking shelf liners, I think is what they're actually called. So you can see it's not paper. It's actually like a thick, it's not even like a rubber. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a thick material that you would put your glasses and things on. So you would line it in your shelves, in your cabinets, things like that. So I got a whole bunch of these. I think I got like 8 of them, and I would lay them out on my balcony, and then I started taking flat lay pictures like that. So not only is the background basically white, right? So it's a nice clean background, and I would take them on my balcony in natural light. That alone, that one small transition from taking the pictures inside and hoping that I get decent lighting and trying to make things clean in the background, to switching it over to having a solid, simple background that I kept using over and over again, to this, which cost me $8 to lay this out, which is even less expensive than if you were to go and buy maybe a full white fitted sheet or a big white blanket. It's probably even cheaper than that. So that was about a 30% increase in sales for me. Later on, as I started to sell a little bit more, and if you go to my Poshmark Bangles and Buttons, just an FYI, you'll see my IG up here is bangles and buttons. In Poshmark, it doesn't fit the whole thing, so it's bangles N, like the letter N, bangles and buttons on my Poshmark. So you can even see the difference there. You'll see some of my old pictures, which have the background with the door, which honestly I'm probably going to end up retaking the pictures on them and relisting them and deleting the old ones, because I would like it to have everything to be uniform. But I had a huge increase from that to just using this. I went about 30%. And then as I started to sell a little bit more, I decided it was time for me to invest a little bit more in my backgrounds. And I made the little wall that you see behind you here. So this is actually peel and stick wallpaper from Amazon. It was, I believe, like $29.99 for one big roll. And the wall, I used two of them. So I spent about $60 on this wall. I got a couple other things that I just wanted to get. So I added these little shelves and stuff so that I can put things on there. But I already had the hook and everything like that. And I had gotten some white hangers for myself before doing everything. So that's pretty much it. So I went from basically spending nothing to spending $8 to now spending about $60 plus the extra little add-ons that I did. But basically the wall itself, it's just peel and stick wallpaper. It's nothing crazy. And I put it specifically next to my window in my living room because that's where I get the best natural light. The only problem that I would say with doing stuff outside like this is that having to lay out separate pieces. I was thinking at one point of putting down like cardboard or something and taping or gluing all of the pieces together so that it was one big piece. But what was happening is that when I was laying down piece by piece, and then it would get windy and things would kind of blow up, and that was really obnoxious. So that was when I decided, okay, well, I've been selling enough pretty consistently at this point, just for the past month or so, that let me go ahead and invest a little bit more money and make a wall area so that I could take my pictures, whether it's raining or sunny or not or whatever, as long as I have enough natural light coming in, I could take my pictures against the wall. So that just makes my life a lot easier, and that's why I'm able to right now add things pretty frequently, is that I'm not dependent on the weather. But I would say if you're looking to make yourself an easy background, you don't have a lot of money, see if you could find something like this. Maybe like go walk around a couple stores near you, like a little dollar store, or just like a Five Below type of store or something like that, and look for things that you say, okay, well, if I had just a few of those, I could have a big enough space that I could take pictures of the products and at least lay them down on the floor outside. So that would definitely be my biggest tip, is to make sure that your photography is clear and try to have a certain look to your closet. For example, if you were to go scroll through other people's closets, you're most likely going to continue looking through someone's closet if it has kind of a uniform look, or if it's just easy to look through. If you are, like I said before, if you're looking at a pair of shoes on a couch and you're looking at a bunch of dishes in the background, but there's a bowl that you're kind of interested in looking at, you know, when it looks like there's a lot going on in the backgrounds, it kind of gets distracting, and you don't want your photographs to be distracting. You want it to be the focus of whatever the item is that you're selling. So for me, I went from about a 30% increase in sales in this to about a 50% on top of that when I added this background. So you definitely don't need to spend a lot of money, but definitely start being consistent with your photos and make sure that they're clear photos. We went from, I believe it was originally about 8 photos that you could load onto Poshmark. Now I believe they allow you to have 16 photos. And I definitely also advise, don't just put one photo and use that cover photo. Make sure you take multiple photos, even if it's something really simple. Take the front, take the back, take the sides, top, bottom. Make sure you take at least multiple photos of each item as well. People want to scroll through so that they're really looking at all angles. You know, if you're looking at, let's say, the front of a shirt, and even though there's maybe nothing on the back of the shirt, maybe it's a graphic t-shirt and there's nothing on the back, you should still take a picture of the back of the shirt so that people can see that it's not damaged, that it's not stained, that there's no holes in it, right? So think about what you would want to see as a buyer. Are you gonna buy from someone where everything's all over the place, it just looks messy? Or are you going to buy from someone that actually looks like it has a legitimate look to their closet? It kind of feels like you're shopping in a store. It feels like you're shopping in a boutique. That's what people want to see. And it just makes it easier when you're sharing your items into the parties, or you're just sharing them to your followers. It's more noticeable that way. When you have a nice clean background, if you can do some type of a white background, I definitely highly recommend that, or at least a nice solid, pretty clean, light colored background in natural lighting. So definitely go ahead and give that a try, and definitely let me know in the comments if you maybe weren't doing that before and you try that and you maybe get something like these. Like I said, I got these at Dollar Tree and these are actually shelf liners. So maybe give it a try, see if it helps you, and I would love to know if it does down below in the comments. So thank you so much for joining, and stay tuned. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because I will be adding more Poshmark beginner tips. Thanks so much.